So whereas you might have had hundreds of choices, you now will have 2 or 3 choices. Where you once had freedom, you're going to have coercion. Where you once had the ability to buy cheaper insurance if you wanted it, if you wanted to make the decision to pay your out-of-pocket expenses on a day-to-day basis yourself and buy cheaper insurance, it will no longer exist because the government now says they know what's best for you. They know what you should do. Your choices really, to them, have gone out the window. So we talked about amendments. If we were allowed to have amendments, if we were allowed to try to fix Obamacare, I'd try to bring the price down. The best way to bring the price down is not to tell people they have to have a high deductible, or not to tell people they have to have an HSA, but it's to expand their ability to choose an HSA. An HSA is a health savings account. So currently, or before Obamacare, you could put $5,000 a year in your HSA. Now it's gone to $2,500 a year. If you have a child who's autistic, or a child with spina bifida, or a child with a severe learning disability, you can spend $10,000 a year on their health care and trying to help them to adapt to life. Right now what's happened is they're limiting that ability. Health savings accounts should be unlimited. We should take them from $2,500, where the president has squashed them, we should make them unlimited. If you get lucky and you don't get sick, your health savings account should be able to go into your kid's education. We should allow health savings accounts not just for the family, but for every individual member of the family. They should be enormous over time, and then you would buy cheaper insurance. This is also the answer as to how you drive the price down. And here's something that, through the years as a physician, people always came up to me and they asked. They would say, all right, I went to the hospital and I had heart surgery and it was $100,000. But then I looked at my bill very closely and the mouthwash was $50 and I'm infuriated. And I'll say, well, did you call? Did you try to negotiate with the hospital? They say, no, my deductible is $20. So when you have a low deductible, when you don't pay, you aren't connected to the product. Unless you're connected to the product, prices don't come down. So this is a fundamental aspect of capitalism. And this is why when you go to Walmart or to any retail store, Hobby Lobby, wherever you go, the prices are bid down because there's competition and you ask the price. But think about it. If you went to Walmart and your deductible was $10, so you paid a copay every time you went to Walmart, would you ever look at any prices after $10? So you can see what would happen to the entire retail world if we had health insurance for buying goods. If you had health insurance for going to the mall. If you had health insurance for going to buy shoes, cars, you name it. If you only had to pay $10 or you only had to pay $100 to buy a car, all you had was a copay to buy a car, the price of cars would go through the roof because you wouldn't care about the price. This is about having some sense. The people who gave you Obamacare are not bad people. They have big hearts, I think, but sometimes not so big brains. They want to help people, but they haven't figured out that the unintended consequences of Obamacare are part-time workers will have less hours. Full-time workers who are on the margin where the business is struggling will lose their jobs. If I have 51 employees, I may well go back to 49 employees if I'm struggling. If I have 1,000 employees and I provide health insurance for them, but my competitor decides to dump them on the government exchange, maybe I have to compete, because maybe I have to offer the lowest price. Maybe the end result of Obamacare is the people it was intended to help is precisely who it's going to hurt.